Let's go to Edinburgh and talk to Tom. Hello, Tom.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
How you doing? What would you like to talk about? Sturgeon.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Oh, yeah. Where do we start, Kevin?
Yeah.
I've just listened to that statement today from the First Minister, and I've got to say to you, it's everybody in Scotland's totally sick of her obsessing about independence. We're just sick of the whole thing. And today is just another waste of time, waste of government money. We don't have any money to do this, but she's going to do it anyway. It's just a total waste of time.
So you are one of the many Scotsmen, Scottish people, who don't want independence, because what Nicola Sturgeon does is, in my view, she propagates the lie that if she got Indy Ref 2, there would be this landslide. All of Scotland would vote for independence. It's not true, is it?
Well, I mean, there's so many things wrong with what she tells us all the time. She wants to come out of the situation with the union, but then she wants to join the EU. Well, you can't be independent in the EU, so that's another big lie that she loves to tell us.
Yeah.
It's just, as I say, the women's Myadin scandal, we have a fantastic situation where we've got a deficit which is of record proportions. We've got A&E waiting times. We've got huge scandals. But all she wants to talk about, as usual, is independence. That's all she wants to talk about.
That's what they call it in politics, swinging a dead cat. I mean, this, by shouting and screaming about independence, she covers up a whole multitude of political sins that are unfolding under her auspices, right?
Well, she's also embarrassed herself today by the fact she's actually now agreed in Parliament today, on record, saying that she needs a Section 30. That wasn't what she was saying the last 2 or 3 weeks. But now she's coming and said it today, so she's obviously had a word with the Lord Advocate, which is telling us again that she'll now go to court. Well, I'm afraid that's not going to happen either. The court will throw that out, and she's left nowhere. She's just embarrassing the whole of the nation. The whole of us Scots are now saying to ourselves, you know, what is this doing this woman doing to our country? She's embarrassing all of us, really. She's embarrassing the whole country.
What do you make of Nicola Sturgeon's demands for Indy Ref 2? She says she's going to have it whether we like it or not. She says it'll be consultational, whatever that means. But what are your feelings about it?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because they lost last time, but she, as Scottish National Party leader, has continued banging this drum ever since. And there's no doubt, I suspect, that if there was another referendum, it would be a bit closer. You know, we could be in a position in 10, 15 years where the United Kingdom is completely broken up. You know, we have a united Ireland potentially. You have Scotland annexed. And I think, personally, it would be a massive shame. But, you know, it's interesting to see how this is playing out today in the court of public opinion, because a lot of people who campaigned and supported Brexit, for example, are furious with the Scots. The Scots would say, well, we just want what you had from the European Union. What's the difference? Ideologically, hard to argue with that. So I think that there are, you know, a lot of Scots feel very strongly about this. I'm a Democrat, so I believe ultimately you should put these things to the people. But there's no doubt she is trying to pull a fast one, knowing that it's supposed to be a generational referendum. And it would be a bit like, I guess, people, you know, if there was a shift in power in this country and Labour took over and Keir Starmer said, I want to revisit the Brexit referendum, you know, how would that go down? Probably the same way. They say, well, hang on, this is supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But these things very rarely are once-in-a-lifetime things. And I've just got a feeling that the winds of independence are blowing hard now through the UK, and that Brexit actually may have triggered a sort of unstoppable momentum to the breakup of the United Kingdom, which personally I think would be a great shame.
Let's go to your calls. Let's go to Michael in London, wants to talk about the Scottish referendum. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah, no, I'm really depressed to hear about the Scottish referendum, to be honest with you. Very sad. And I've got a dog in the fight, and my mum's from Glasgow. Well, she's late now. So, and, you know, I can go personally. She never had any time for the SNP. And, you know, and you know, her and the family weren't people that kowtowed to the English. They just thought the SNP were a bunch of, like, swivel-eyed bigots. And I'm sorry to say, I think Sturgeon is.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. I mean, the thing is, what your mum proves, and I had a caller on earlier, that Nicola Sturgeon likes to project the image that Scotland is full of, like, 99% of them baying for immediate independence, can't wait to get free from the shackles of the United Kingdom. It's just not true. It is not true. And if she went to a vote tomorrow, it would, by all accounts, it would be extremely close, and those who don't want independence might well prevail.
All I would say is, and I've had this conversation with some Scottish people. You could argue if I'm a Scottish person, but Scottish people before. I fully respect, if they want a referendum and independence and all of that sort of thing. Where I would find it sad, and they should look at themselves, is if they want to be independent for economic reasons, for Brexit, for whatever, cool, that completely understood. If it's just because they don't like the English, that's very sad at a time when we're talking about a world coming together.
Yeah.
And I would ask every Scottish person to look in the mirror and think, what is it in your heart that wants you to be independent?
Yeah, and I would also say, Michael, just before we part company, you can't have the NHS, you can't have the BBC, you can't have our money, and the EU doesn't want you. So exactly what it would be the future for Scotland if they quit the UK. Think on that.